Hello, hello. Are there any people online, please? If you are online, let me know. Are there any people online? Good evening, good day, good morning. Greetings to everyone anywhere that you find yourselves. Is there anyone online? Today we have a beautiful topic. We want to talk about our work culture. How do you view the job you have and how do you carry it out? Work culture is what makes people successful. Show me a successful person and I will show you the person's work culture. I see you, Beatrice. Welcome. Please share the video. Work culture. How do you view your work culture? How is your work culture? You know, some of us have been buried into the idea of degrees and certificates to the extent that we don't value jobs. I recently read a story of somebody who is a professor and how he went visiting somewhere and then he discovered, because of his travels out of the country and back, he discovered that work does not matter. Work is service. Once you have the opportunity to serve, you can serve, and through service you'll be able to make a living. And so this man, because of his ways, of what he had learned, the new knowledge, one day he went to visit his friend. His friend invited him to his restaurant. He went to the restaurant and he discovered that while sitting there, his friend was the one serving people. So he asked his friend, "Can I offer a helping hand?" Remember, I said this man is a professor. He asked his friend if he could offer a helping hand, and his friend said yes. Then he started off with the help. Now, what did he do? He started serving in that restaurant. Remember, I said he's a professor, and then as he was serving, two guys who had been his students some time ago, joined in. And when the two guys joined into the restaurant, "Welcome, my son." When they entered the restaurant, they realized that there was somebody who was serving that looked familiar. They looked at this guy. They were wondering, is this not our professor? Then the man came to them and said, "Please, can I serve you? What do you need?" The man was like, "What?" The guys were like, "What? But is this not our professor?" They looked at him again and said, "But this is our professor. How on earth can our professor be serving us here?" That is how they were surprised and they were wondering. They did not immediately give the order. They waited for a while, and then after some time he came back. And when he came back, he said, "Look, I need to serve you guys. So what do you need to be served? What do you need so I can serve you?" These people gave him what they wanted, and then he served them. After that, he cleared the table, and then they paid the money and gave a tip. He put it in his pocket and added to some more tips that he had. And then he went home happy that day because he had served, and in the service that he was offering, he had some money in his pocket. Now, did you listen to this story? That's a professor, but that was him serving in the restaurant. That is a professor, and that was him serving in the restaurant. Those of us who are out of the country, we know that we have discovered that there is pride in service. Some of the jobs that we view in our countries, different countries, like useless jobs, they are the same jobs that most of us do out of our countries, and they give us a lot of money. I'm using this example because I want us to start viewing the jobs that we do from a different perspective. We have to stop looking at jobs that we do as if they are menial. You know, any work that you do and do it well, you will be successful. I want us to reflect a bit. How many of us had watched the film Coming to America? That film, Coming to America, was a very wonderful film. It's a wonderful film. And what attracts me in that film is Akeem. Akeem, the man who wanted to get a woman, even though his motive was in trying to get a woman, I think that he taught us a lesson. And what is this lesson? The lesson he taught us is simple. He became a cleaner in that office, and the way he cleaned with such dexterity. He was so happy doing his job. He was cleaning as if the cleaning job is the best job on earth. That is what I learned from him. And this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, I am here to tell us that we have to review our work culture. How is your work culture? How do you view work and how do you do it? How is your work culture? Many of us like to spend money. We like to enjoy our lives. We do a lot of things. We need money, but we don't work for the money. We don't work for the money. Thank you, my sister, Helga. We don't work for the money. We wait and we wait and wait and we wait for people like those of us who are in Africa. We wait for people from Europe to send and America to send us money. And these same people, you need to see the kind of jobs they do. They offer service. They do what we call menial jobs, whatever we mean by menial jobs. And then, thank you, Vincent. Thank you so much. Share the video, please, and also invite your friends. Comment. I like it when people comment. Thank you, Helga. When you do your job with the love that it deserves, you do your job with the pride that it deserves. In fact, it is not about money that you will be paid. It is about the happiness that you derive from that job. The joy of doing that job will be everything that you need, and you will be at peace with yourself. You will be happy, especially when you are doing your dream career. It must not be for you to have money. Let me give you people some examples. Can we move around? Those of us who don't know how to drive without drivers, driving job is an honorable job, because there are experts who have been trained to drive. And then you see lots of accidents are occurring now on our highways because some people who do not have the gift of driving are struggling to drive. Therefore, if you have the gift of driving, you drive with love. When I say this, I admire my brother Vincent. He drives with the love for that job. He does the job with all the respect, and I respect him for that. Let us look at cobblers, people who mend shoes. If you don't have a shoe mender, will you have? It means that each time you buy a shoe, you immediately gets bad. You drop it off. Or tailors. The tailors the tailors are people who are doing jobs. For example, if you have your dress torn, a tailor will mend it for you. If there were no tailors, you will not have beautiful shirts to wear. Somebody is asking what job or any job, the job that you think is honorable to you. When we talk of jobs here, we mean those jobs that we call menial jobs. Some of us call cleaning a menial job. We call working in a restaurant a menial job. We call house helps a menial job. We call gate men menial jobs. We call drivers menial jobs. There's certain people, we don't view them as important. But I'm coming here to tell you that even if you were a grave digger, if you have the gift of digging graves, or digging holes, or digging trenches, when you are going for your job, you dress up, go for your job, and then do your job, and then clean yourself, dress up, come back home, because you would have offered service. What does it cost you to offer this service? In our land, Jenny Kamapunga, thank you for watching. Please share the video. In Africa, most of us look at cleaning jobs as very, very menial job. That this kind of job is for low-graded people. It's not for people with certificates. I bet you go to Europe and the US and you find people who have doctorate degrees, but they are selling in shops and they are making a lot of money. The way we view our jobs in Africa explains for the way we underpay people who work in such jobs. We underpay them because we don't give value to these jobs. And today I am here to call on those of us who do this kind of jobs to valorize our jobs. Let's give weight to our jobs. Let's respect our jobs and do them in such a way that people who look at us and think that we are nobodies will tend to respect us. Because after all, the person who is a driver or a cook or a gate man or a house help, they have families. A man who is a gate man, when he goes back home, the wife calls him darling, the children call him daddy, and he has a family to feed. So he is a breadwinner, and he's breadwinning by what he does, offering service. Working on earth is not just a white collar job. We are not developing in Africa because we are so married to white collar jobs. Many of us think that white collar jobs are the only jobs. So how often do we create jobs? When you have a business, thank you, my brother Cletus. When you have a business and you employ people, you are also offering service. And you can start off a business by starting maybe a car washing place. You yourself, you start washing the cars, and then you gradually employ people. In Bamenda, there was this young man, Aruna, who started roasting fish. He would employ people, but he would be there roasting his fish, and then the customers are coming there because he is the one roasting the fish. And they admire him because he was a rich man. He had a lot, but he was doing his thing. Let us look at the people who are industrious in our communities. Some of them just do their work. They spend time working. They spend time working. They offer service happily. There was one man, we used to call him Guarantee. He's of blessed memory, may his soul rest in peace. This guy used to work in his transport agency. He would come in the morning, he would join the people working, but most of us were mocking at him. Oh, this man is running after money. He's trying to protect his money, and he was getting richer and richer. So I think our countries are stagnant because of our mindset as far as work is concerned. Now let's come back to those who want only white collar jobs. Do we actually offer service when we get into our offices? Do we offer service? Do we spend 8 times at work or 8 times of work? Because that is also another problem. Many of us do not work. We just spend time. We don't work. We just sit there. We go to the office and sit there. We spend all the time sitting there. Some women are doing marketing. We are chatting with friends. We are moving up and down. Hey, my sister Brenda, welcome on board. We are talking about the work culture and how important it is and how we should view any job that we do in a right way, with a right frame of mind. And we are saying that I gave a story of a professor like you, my dear sister, who was a professor but could still serve in a restaurant and make a bit more money. We need to change our culture of work, our culture, our mentality towards work. Welcome, my daughter Roslyn Bawe, my daughter and wife. We have to review our culture of work. Most of us think that working just you must need a degree, you must need to go to school and go into an office, you must need to be employed by somebody where you wear a suit and then you dress well and go to office. No. Cobblers who make men's shoes, they are working. Tailors who make dresses, they are working. Gate men are working. People who take care of the old people, they are working. People who take care of children, they are working. Cooks are working. It is for this reason that you see many men don't value, they don't like to work at home, you know. You see a man who is working in a restaurant, he wears a long cap and he calls himself a chef. He cooks, he takes care of the bed, of the rooms in that restaurant. But when he gets back home, he does not work. He cannot feed himself. He cannot cook. He cannot make up his bed. It's because of the culture that we have developed that some of these jobs are menial jobs. This culture makes people to view these jobs as not important. If we knew that cooking is a good job for everybody and everybody can do it, and like the Bible says, if you cook, you should eat. If you eat, you should work. If you are not working, you don't have to eat. That's what the Bible says. If all of us were to view this and have a positive mind towards work, you see families that are stronger, they are happier, because the man will not say that cooking is just for the woman. Yes, the women will cook because they love to cook and serve their husbands, and I encourage that a lot. But at one time, you see the man happily cook if he has the opportunity to cook. He will join the wife in the kitchen. It's an honorable job. There are some people who are making a big living out of cooking. Therefore, we should not view anything in a half measure. No half measure when we look at things, because As I tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, the culture of work in Africa has killed us and has kept us where we are, because we think that you only need to have a white collar job. We don't know that you can do little jobs and make money out of it. But the same people who refuse those jobs, when they are in Europe or in Africa or in US, they do the same jobs. So why can't we translate this culture back home, and then we develop our country, we develop our villages, we develop ourselves? How many of us do create jobs? We only want people to employ us. So if everybody is an employee, who will employ the others? We need to create jobs. We need to start having a good culture of work. Those of us who have white collar jobs, good for us, but do we offer service? Do we sit in the room in our offices when people come? They sit on the waiting line, on a long waiting line, and they're waiting and nobody is attending to them, and we're just sitting there? Or we attend to our people, and then when we have free time, we can relax. Many of us spend 8 hours at work, but not 8 hours of work, and that is dangerous. We have to start thinking, do we need to continue like this, or we need to change our mentality? Do we need to become better people by the services that we offer, or we want to remain where we are and then we do not change our mentalities? We need to change. We need to change. There is a lot in service. There is a lot in working. There's a lot in having a positive view to your work. In those days, people used to look at musicians as some kind of rough people who have nothing to offer. But these days, you can see somebody who is a minister and yet a musician, and they are succeeding. So I am calling on all of us today to start developing a positive culture towards work. Because when you have a positive culture towards work, you succeed in many ways. There is just no reason why we should not be able to have a positive culture towards the kind of work that we have. We should devalue some people because they are working some kind of jobs. Any job that somebody works is a great job. Any job that somebody works is a great job. In fact, somebody asked earlier that, do I mean all kinds of job? I am not saying that somebody should go into prostitution because that's not a job. For me, it may be a job to the person, but it has a lot of effects on your personality, and the long-term effect will kill you, and it also exposes you to illnesses, and also it runs down even your credibility. But there are jobs that we need to do. There are jobs. There are so many jobs out there. There are so many jobs that we need to do. We have to start, and when we are doing these jobs, we do them happily. What is the culture of work that you have? So highly successful people are those people who have a beautiful mentality towards work, and they do the work with love and respect. If you are doing any job that God has given you on earth, do it with love and respect. Put in your all. Serve through your job. Serve where you are. Brighten the corner where you are. Do not look low on others. If you are a good servant, you will work without blackmailing people, without smear campaigning your colleagues. You will just be doing your work, and then God will bless you through that. Many of us have a very dangerous culture of work. We think that working means, especially those who have government numbers that show that they are working for government. Immediately they have the number, they jubilate because their work culture has just gone through the window. They know that whether they offer service or not, whether they work or not, they are going to have a salary. And so you see a country where it has become stagnant because people who are supposed to do A, B, C are not doing it. But then they are receiving their salaries. So what is your culture of work? Do you spend 8 hours at work or 8 hours of work? We have to critically look at ourselves and ask these questions to ourselves and make sure that we are doing what is right. Because if you do what is right, you will be happy. Do you have a job satisfaction in what you do? Many of us have jumped into jobs that are not ours just because we want to become employed by the state, wherever we are. But do you have job satisfaction? Those of us who are working for NGOs, when you are working for somebody, do you work selflessly? Because if you don't work selflessly, at the end of the day, you will not be able to work even in your own job. When you work selflessly wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, it gives you the opportunity to learn through action, to develop the culture of work, and then at the end of the day, you will become somebody who is, how do I say it? You will become somebody who is ready to offer service even in your own establishment. And when you have an establishment, people who are working with you, they will emulate your character and they will work like you. So working is very important, and the culture of work, your perception of work is very important. The way you perceive work and do it, it is very important for your success in life. Many of us also downgrade. We also look low on other people. We look low on people who do certain jobs. Let me come back now to somebody who is a big man. God has blessed you. You are a big person. You have the money to employ a driver, a cook, a babysitter, a gate man, and a houseboy. How do you treat these people? How do you treat these people? Do you use your power because you have your affluence? Do you use it to look low on these people, and then you even use them? You don't pay them well? If you're doing that, it means that you are downgrading their work. But take away these 5 people, you will not be successful. I will say something about driving. If you have a driver, respect that driver, because your life is in the hands of that driver. If you are careless with that driver may kill you one day. If there is an accident, the driver will not be struggling to save the 2 of you. He will struggle to save himself. He or she, whoever is driving. Therefore, we have to treat our drivers with love and respect, because their jobs are wonderful jobs. If they were not there, we will not move around. It's just like pilots, just like sailors, all these people. I wonder, if they were not existing, how do we move around the whole world as we do, around the whole countries as we do, from one place to the other as we do? We will not be able to move around. Now, let's come to our cooks. If our cooks were not there, when we go out to work, by the time you come back tired, will you be able to go into the kitchen? Therefore, you have to respect your cook, because your life is in the hands of your cook. Your cook can poison you at any time. If you don't give value to his job, you come back, maybe he or she was lazy today and was not able to go fast as usual. Then you come back and you are breathing hell and shouting, and then disrespecting even the personality of the person. Maybe sometimes forgetting to talk only on the problem, but talking even on the personality of that person. You will be killing that person. Hey, my daughter Roslyn has written. She says, it's so bad because youth are copying this. This is what is amplifying corruption. You see people working in offices behaving as if they are doing you a favor, forgetting that that's what they are being paid for. I tell you, many people are doing very wrong things these days. Many people are doing very wrong things these days. They spoil things, and they do that. They do that every day. Yes, I'm coming. They do that every day. They spoil their work. They are working in offices, but they are not doing what they're supposed to do. You don't offer. As Rosalind said, there's a lot of corruption in the world today because of this. Many people have just copied bad habits, and they project the bad habits. Many people just copy what is not good. What are you doing? How are you working? Are you doing what is right? Are you doing what you think is right in the job that you do? No matter the kind of job you do, respect that job. It is not what you do, but it is how you do it. It is the value you give to it. Now, how do you treat your babysitter? The way you treat your babysitter responds in the way your babysitter will handle your children. Some of us just think that babysitters are useless people. That is a job they are doing. They are offering service. We have to respect them. Our Cletus, my brother, says, whatever our work role, commitment is also an essential ingredient to success. Commitment is an essential ingredient to success. Let's take note of this and be very, very committed to whatever we do. Because if you are not committed to what you do, that success will not come. You cannot be successful if you are not committed. You have to be committed whatever you do on earth. And stop looking at people's jobs as menial jobs. There is no menial job. Whether you are selling in a shop, whether you are a cook, whether you are a gate man, whether you are selling in you are doing maybe makeup, whatever job you do is very important. And I call on people who do these jobs, because these jobs mean offering service. Those to me are the most important jobs, because you are offering service to someone. At the end of the day, some people are happy because of your services. And then you will see that if you do the job well, you will be upgraded. You will be upgraded. You will be moving from one place to the other. People will see that you are a good person. If you continue to think that you only want a white collar job, I bet you will not succeed in life. Remember the story I said, Divine says, ha 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 ha, that young man with you wants to talk to us. Yes, he ran in and out, really. You know, when you are doing your job, you have to give value to your job. Some of us don't even valorize what we do. We do it with a lot of, how can I say it? We don't do it with a love, with commitment, as Cletus has said. If you are committed to your job, it will be projected in what you do. It will be shown in what you do. Rosalind, who has written this, that's a wonderful young person I have met in life. She has worked with me, and the level of commitment of this young lady is beyond reasonable. In fact, is beyond comprehension. And because of her commitment, she's moving from step to step. She is ever growing, and she is in her dream career and doing perfectly well. I wish many more young people can copy this. If your culture of work, if you view work as something that you are doing to please somebody, you will not be successful. When you have a job to do the job as if you are doing your job. Do the job as if you don't do this job, you will not succeed. Do this job as if you want to please yourself first before thinking of pleasing whoever had given you that job. Many times we just kill ourselves. We just kill our initiatives. We need to activate our initiatives. Now, there are some kinds of job like painting, like craft work, like doing knitting. Some of us just look at it as this is not a job. The way you perceive your job, the way you advertise your job, the way you do your job and do it well, perfection, commitment, will invite people, and then money will come in and you will be a rich person. Many people, the other day I looked at a documentary on somebody, the person who started electricity. The documentary showed how when he started electricity, he had so many challenges, and he was abandoned even by his family, because the first thing they did with the electricity was to execute. They executed somebody using electricity, and then everybody said, this your whole thing that you are bringing on earth here is going to bring trouble to people. Now let's reflect in those days. From those days, if the man did not persist and continue doing it until he became so rich, he came up with different companies and he became a focal point in the world. If he did not do it, will you and I be chatting today using electricity? Will we be here today? There are people who cannot sleep in their homes without electricity. In fact, take away electricity and you have halted the world. That is how commitment to what you want to do is. I want people to contribute, please. Say something. Divine, say something about this work culture. I'm longing to see your write-up. Work culture, the way we do our work, the way you are committed towards whatever you do. You see people who are having clothing lines today. They might have started just like a joke, and then they went up right to the extent of becoming a whole company. So how are you viewing what you do? When Moses was at the Red Sea, I will always quote this. When he was blocked there with the children of Israel, he asked God, you have brought us here for us to come and die by water? And God said, what do you have in your hand? Moses looked, it was a rod. He used this rod to separate the water, and they went over. You have something in your hand that God has given you that will make you work and work happily, whether you are employed by somebody or not. You have a talent that you may not be employed in an office, you may be employed in a shop, and your networking strategies can just be what can take you from height to height. There are some of us who are doing what is not our calling, and because of that we are not perfect. But if you were able just to locate your dream career and do it well, you will do it so well. Look at Divine. I look at Divine. Divine is really a journalist, by a firebrand journalist. Look at all the works he's doing online. Look at all the ways he is bringing up, he's educating people online. That shows somebody who has a career and is focused on that career, who, even though he's not working in the radio house, he can create. I remember how they created Africa Online, and Africa Online today is a huge initiative that is going places. Now he has African Chat Night. It is going to go places. That is how you look for it. Nobody has employed him in doing that, but he has employed himself. And gradually, Africa Online today has people who are working like volunteers, but there are some people who are making a living through that. And it is going to be the same with Chat Night eventually, as I see. So how do you use your initiative? What are you using? How are you using what is in your hand? Just like Moses used it and went across the sea. How are you using it? Are you using that rod in your hand, or you are there complaining, devaluing what you have to do? If you started up doing marking, are you marking your things gradually and doing it with such a love? If you are doing beads, like my little sister Loveline is doing beads, and I really love the way she's doing it. Are you doing it? Have you given a beautiful name to your beadwork as she has given Love Beads? Do you love your job? Are you creative? Do you use what is in your mind to create more diverse beading artifacts so that you can become a better person? Welcome, my daughter Alex. How do you view what you are doing? Because if you don't view what you are doing very well, you become a problem to yourself. Our Cleto says, team spirit at work is also another important aspect of good work culture. You said much of this. Good communication amongst employees, sharing of knowledge. Divine Chamukon is a great man. He prompted me as a musician with a lot of passion. Yes, you are right. In fact, whatever we do well. Team spirit is very important. If you are working in an office, are you an island, or you have developed the team spirit? In fact, when you work in an office and you work as if it is your job, not like you want to please your employer, not like you are working because somebody is paying you. You work as if it is what you like doing. I tell you, you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. You will be having this fulfillment. Another one of the good examples of somebody who works with fulfillment has come on board, just like Rosalind Bawe, as I said. Alex Muki has come on. She is working with me, and she is such a committed human person. Those kind of persons succeed in life. If you have a team spirit in your work, you will succeed. You will move from step to step. If you are a learner, a learning individual, you will succeed. If you block yourself and you say, but why am I doing all this work for this person? That is where you fail. If you work as if you are doing your personal job, you work as if you are offering service to the world, as if you are doing what God has put you to do. Excuse me. You will succeed. So I pray. Excuse me, I choked. I pray that we develop a work culture that will make us to succeed, that will make us be successful people in life. By being a good team player when you work in the office, communicating with people you work with, sharing knowledge, not hiding knowledge, by being a very, very strong person. Thank you, my dear, I will drink it. By being somebody who is committed to what you do and loving it, by putting in your all, doing it with passion, not doing it as if you want to please someone. In fact, Divine says whatever we need to do, we must do with passion. Yes, that is the key word. Passion and drive will take you to higher heights. Your drive, your commitment, your value, the value that you give to what you do will take you from one step to the other. The problem is that most of us do not even valorize what we do. If you're a housewife, do your housewife work well. Offer service to your family, and God will bless you there. If you're a husband, offer service. It may not be a job, but it is a whole job. To love your wife and take care of your family is a job. Do it with love. Whatever you do on this earth, do it with commitment and with passion. Then there will be reduced tension, there will be increased cohesion, there will be increased love, there will be more peace, and relationships will be stronger because we will have developed strong relationships. I tell you, the young today, I want to go back to what Rosalind said. The younger people are learning poor habits, and we need to pray for the young generation. Work culture is going out through the big door and through the windows even now, because More and more, the young people want to use money they don't work for. The young people want to live lives they don't deserve. They want to live posh lives, whereas they don't have money. So you see them going into corrupt practices, into dangerous practices, just so that they can get money to spend. Are you that person, like Will Smith said, that we want to buy things we don't need, using money we don't have, just to please people who are not even our friends, people we may not even like them, or we may not even know them, just because we want to show off that we are part of this whole wide world? My dear, you have to work if you want to live a comfortable life. I like it in America here. People work. People are so committed to their job. Nobody is running after them, but they work. So what is your culture of work? If we were to cut and paste this in our countries, I can imagine that we will have a beautiful country. We'll have beautiful countries in Africa. We'll have beautiful homes, because even at your home, if you are perfect in what you do, tensions will reduce. If you do your work well, the thing is, I may be ranting a lot, but what I want really us to know is that wherever you have something to do, wherever you are called for service, serve, and serve as if you have never served before. Serve in such a way that you attract people to love what you're doing. Serve in such a way that you yourself give value to what you're doing, and then other people will give value to it. The problem is that we don't valorize what we do. Now I want to shout out to every woman, all the women. You have to valorize even your position as a woman. You have to give value to your work. If you are doing braiding, you are braiding hair in the market, do it because that is your livelihood. Do it with love and passion, with creativity. Create new styles. Don't keep waiting. Go into Google. Look for new ways. Learn. School yourself. And give value to that. Nobody will say, look at this one, she's just a common hair braider. No. Because you will do it in such a way that people who are even working in offices will want to become hair braiders. If you are somebody who is knitting baby dresses, go into creativity. Look for wool that will give you good colors. Creatively create things that I am seeing a lot of it on Facebook today. People knitting. You can learn even from Facebook, because what the people are doing it so well. They send what they have knitted, and they also send a video on how to do this. I myself am struggling to learn that, because you will be creative, and then you will valorize what you are doing, and people will love it. We need to start being focused towards our dream careers. Let us be focused, because when you are focused, you will be happy. This is a new week. How are we starting this new week? I want us to start this new week with a renewed spirit, with a spirit that will make us to understand that the work culture is very important. How you view your work and how you do it, wherever you are and whatever job you are doing, is what will make you to be a wonderful person in life. It's what will make you to succeed. It is what will give you that drive to become successful and succeed in life. It is what will help you to be envied by other people. It is what will make you to be a role model, because people will want to do what you are doing because they have seen that you are succeeding. And people will walk up to you and say, please, can you let us learn what you're doing? So I want to call on all of us to learn how to do things and do them well. Let us learn how to do things and do them well. Do our work well. Let us develop a positive mindset towards our work. Don't work as to please somebody. Work first to please yourself. Work second to offer service. And work third to be happy and fulfilled at the end of the day. But above all, work because the Bible has given you the capability, the talent. God has given you the capability, the talents, and the know-how, and you have to use it. Work to project the image of God in you, so that you will not go home empty to meet your Father. When He asks you, what did you do with the talents I gave you? You may not have something to say. So your work culture, if you are doing a white collar job, when you get into that office, go to work. Research and start knowing your job. Do your job. Don't remain a vegetable at your job. Don't go spend time sleeping. Don't put your coat on your chair and walk out. Don't go visiting people in their offices and disturbing them. Don't go just relaxing in the office. You have to spend time You have to spend time to train yourself and work. Stop being a stooge in your office. Stop spending 8 hours at work, not 8 hours of work. Because if each of us spends 8 hours of work, what a wonderful world we will have. Because everybody at their little age of the table, which is the world, will be doing that which God has called you to do. You will be offering service, and then the world will become a better place, and you will be enjoying it. You will enjoy the world. When you offer service, when you work well, it is not for someone else. It is for you first. And it is to glorify God, because at the end of the day, God takes the glory for creating you and putting you in this whole wide world, for giving you the opportunity to be part of this world, and for giving you the creativity to create things. Now, if you are working on your own, if you are your own employer, you have to work with commitment. You don't have to listen to the negative voices around you, which might kill your spirit. You have to commit yourself to what you are doing, because that is your dream career. If you leave it off and it falls off, God will ask you, what did you do with what I gave you? If God asked Moses to look to what he had in his hand, and Moses did not look at the rod, and he did not listen to God's voice, he did not discern what God wanted him to do with the rod, he would not have crossed the children of Israel through the Red Sea. Therefore, you have to listen and discern. Listen to God's voice. Make sure that you listen to God's voice. Plato says, so good, but we find ourselves today in a country that doesn't provide an enabling working environment. Even when there is the will, hope the powers that be make the environment enabling. I don't longer have my square meals because of external environmental factors, not necessarily caused by our poor employees. Yes, my dear, that is true. You're right. But one thing I would say is that all of us have to become peace builders to bring this. We have to become peace builders. And when I talk of peace, peace has to do with justice. Whatever we do, wherever we are, in our little corners, if we hold our ages in a peaceful and justice manner, in a manner that we through cold water rather than hot coals of charcoal, we are going to bring peace even to ourselves. What we deserve now, in a crisis situation, we deserve first our peace of mind. We need to put peace in our hearts first, and then we continue to do the little things that we can do so that we can always survive. It is very important. I hear you, but we need to step up in everything that we do. The work culture is very important. If you are working in your farm, if you are a farmer, many people look at farmers as low-graded people. Imagine that they took away all the farmers from the world. Are we going to have food to eat? There will be no food. There will be no food anywhere. And for that reason, we will suffer. If all the farmers were taken away from the world, we will not have food to eat. If all the farmers were taken away from the world, can you imagine? There will be no food for us to eat. Can you imagine that we will be suffering? Can you imagine that the farmers, if they revolt today, we will not eat? People will be dying. Therefore, there is no work that is less. In the Western world, farmers are very, very progressive people, because they start little and then they grow and they go into mechanized farming, they do large-scale farming, and then they become very successful. So are you a successful person? If you want to become a successful person, what I think you have to do is that you have to start working towards that. You have to work to become a successful person. Success does not come like a piece of cake that somebody brings and gives you. No, success comes through your commitment. It comes through your zeal to work. It comes through your drive. It comes through your focus. It comes through you wanting to be a success story no matter the circumstances. If you want to be a success story, no matter the circumstances, you will be one, because God will help you through. So, Cletus, I know you are a prayerful person. Let's keep praying, and let's keep asking God to help us to become to have the peace that we deserve, the justice that we deserve, so that we can become successful people, and why not, our employees will be happy again. My dear Eleanor, welcome. Our topic is on how we do our job, how you perceive your job, your work culture, and the way you do your work is what defines you and makes you to be successful. How do you do your work? Are you a successful person? If you are not doing your work well, review yourself. If you are not succeeding in what you do, think again. Think again, and maybe you are on the wrong road. Maybe you don't give value to your work. Maybe your idea of work is just to get money, or maybe you don't really even have the work culture. Sometimes I look at our people and I say that if they were to change the rapport today and just put a rapport where if you don't work well, you are scraped out, many of us will lose our jobs because we have become vegetables in our positions. We are no longer, we have gone out of usefulness. We do not school ourselves. We are not training ourselves to become better people. We are not progressing. We don't learn. We have remained with the old school, and then we keep doing it the old way, and we think that we are succeeding. My dear, if you remain a vegetable in your job, know that you will not succeed. So a young girl like Eleanor, as a young girl like Amaya, she works so well. She does her journalism work in such a beautiful way, and she is so innovative. Every day she comes up with new strategies. That is what we are talking about. How are you treating the work you have? Are you working to please someone, or you're working to please yourself and to please your God? That is what we are talking about today. And before I end, I am saying that we need to review our work culture. Each and every one of us has to stand up. Do your work as if you're doing it to please your God who created you. Don't do it because you want to satisfy someone or because you are working to get a salary at the end of the month. Do it because you are offering service, and then the money will come because you do it so well that you will be promoted at your job site. People will value your work. And then the next thing is that you have to give value to your work. If you are in a business, do your business with love and care. Show your customers that you are a happy person. The way you view your work, welcome my brother. The way you view your work, the way your work culture will make you to be successful. Some people have businesses and they think that they are both service. If you have your business and you are the one who sits there and serve, you are doing a good job. Thank you, my brother. You are doing a good job because you are serving people. That service. What has God given you? If God has given you the intellect to be a good businessman, to run a business, run it well. Serve. Even if people laugh at you, the people are just being stupid, because before they open their eyes, you have gone very far. And then they will start saying, oh, I wish I followed this person in what they were doing. So if you are a house help, if you are a cook, if you are a gate man, if you are a driver, if you are a businessman, if you are serving in a bar, or you are even serving in a shop, if you are a sales girl or a salesman in a shop, please do this with the love that it deserves. Do it happily. Do it with joy, because when you do it with joy, God will bless you, and through the blessings of God, you will make a bit more money and you will be a happy human being. Our topic was what is your work culture, and how do you perceive work? How do you work? Are you spending 8 times at work or 8 times of work? Do you give value to what you do? Are you that kind of person who mock others when you see them work? Can we do all the jobs that we go to Europe and America and do back in our countries? In our countries, how do we view some jobs? Do we could name some jobs menial jobs? No. If you have a shop, you can employ a salesperson and you still be there and serve people. And then you will also teach your salesperson by example that service is important. We are going to stop now. It's about 1 hour since we started chatting. Some people just came in. I know that they have a lot to contribute. Please, Anne Lucy, you have to contribute. Joante, you have to contribute. I'm waiting for your contributions even as we stop. But I know that we will start working with a work culture that will make us to be successful people. If you want to be a successful person, review your work culture. How you view work and how you work is what is important. How you view your view of work and your manner of work is very important. Stop viewing people's jobs as menial jobs. If there is no cobbler, we will not have shoes to wear. If there is no tailor, we will not have clothes to wear. If there is no farmer, we will not have food to eat. If there were no drivers, pilots, and sailors, we will not be moving around. If there were no cooks, You will go home after work and you will not have food. Restaurants will not be existing, and then people who don't have time to cook will die of hunger. If there were no gate men, our securities will not be ensured. So every job is important. I said only one job I don't encourage. Prostitution, I don't encourage it. Stealing, I don't encourage it, because those are not jobs. Those are risky activities that you take that can kill you, and they are not acceptable by God. But if you have a job that is honorable, if you have a driver, please, you have to do it. You have to do it with love. And if you have a driver, you valorize that driver. Respect that driver in their own right, because they are doing a wonderful job. If you have a house girl, valorize her job. Or a houseboy, valorize his job. Stop looking low on people's jobs. And we too stop looking low on what we do. Give value to what you do. Respect what you do. And you will do it with such love, and you will be a happy human being. Have a great day. Thank you, Ann Lucy. I'm waiting for your comments. Have a great day to everyone, and blessings. Enjoy your week, but at the end of this week, evaluate how much you put into whatever you did. Even if you have been forced to stay at home like Cletus, what you're doing at home is work. Do it well. Even if you are just a driver, don't look at it as the word just a driver. You are a driver, and that is an honorable profession. If you are a cook, do it well. At the end of this week, you have to do an evaluation. How did I work in this new week? How is my perception of work? And how do I offer service to others? Offer service to everybody as if you are offering to God. If every one of us has the image of God in us, it means that when you serve another person, you are serving God. So let's offer service this week with love, with joy, with commitment, and with the love of God in it, so that at the end of the week, God would take the glory, and God would have helped us to change our perception of work and how our work culture is. Thank you so much. Enjoy your week. Have a blessed day, and rendezvous again soon. Thank you, and bye-bye. Love you all.